Wow, did the Bills have a great game on Sunday as they took down the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a great event to be at. I am so happy that we went. We were talking about selling our tickets for this game, but wow, what an event. And it was an event. There was a lot happening before the game, a lot after the game, during the game. I mean, I struggle whether I want to talk about the stuff that happened before the game or just go right into the game. But I'm going to go right into the game. So, the offense, spectacular game, especially obviously by Josh Allen. I think he is the leader in the MVP race now, but there's still games to be played, so let's not crown anybody quite yet. We do play Detroit later this year, which will be another nationally covered game, and a lot of people will be watching. How he does in that game may make a big difference. So, again, let's go back to this game. The run game, there was no run game. Kansas City shut down the Buffalo Bills run game, other than obviously Josh Allen. James Cook could not find any running room until he got down near the goal line. He had 2 touchdown runs during this game. One to the outside that really Kansas City had the leverage on, and he outran him. And on another one, Cook on Kansas City had a heck of a game because James Cook, he ran into him and bounced off him and ran into the end zone. And then later on the big play at the end of the game that sealed the victory, Josh Allen pretty much trucked Cook into the end zone. So, yeah, he had an interesting game, not one that he probably wants to remember for those 2 plays. More on the offense, I think one of the key things from this game, obviously Shakir had a great game. He's become Mr. Dependable. And we've needed that since Cole Beasley left. Shakir is Mr. Dependable. But the key thing from this game is this guy up here, Curtis Samuel. He is now healthy. I think he's been injured all year. And a healthy Curtis Samuel, he showed in this game, is a new weapon for the offense. We've got a new weapon for the Buffalo Bills, and his name is Curtis Samuel. And that's just awesome because now it's just even another feature for this offense. Without Kincaid, I knew Dawson Knox was going to have to step up. He had the nice long catch, which they did use play action on, so getting away from the run game would have been a mistake because the run game did freeze that linebacker on that play a little bit, enough for Dawson Knox to get open down the field. And boy, did he knock out that cameraman when he went over the sidelines. The offensive line. Spencer Brown was hurt and couldn't play in this game. So we had to see if Ryan Vandermark, who we always think plays very well on the left side at left tackle, but moving over to the right side, he's had some struggles in the past. He had a great game, Ryan Vandermark. Props to Ryan Vandermark to come in and step into Spencer Brown's shoes and have the game that he had. And that shows the depth on this Buffalo Bills roster. That guys can come off the practice squad and come up to the game. Well, Ryan's not on the practice squad. He was on the 53-man roster. But Davidson was on the practice squad. He came up and had a nice catch in this game, his first NFL catch as a tight end, replacing Kincaid for this one game. And then another guy that came off the practice squad is this offensive lineman over here. My man, Richard Courage. Richard, man, to come off the practice squad, when I saw Dawkins go down, and it was 3rd down and 2 on one of the biggest drives, if not the biggest drive of the season for the Buffalo Bills, to have Richard Courage and Alec Anderson then warming up. I wasn't sure which one of them was coming in to play. And then it became evident that Alec Anderson was pretending he was the defensive lineman attacking Courage. So Courage is going to come in. Courage has never had an NFL snap in a regular season game. Comes in, he plays right tackle, which means now Vandermark has to move over to left tackle, where he's been playing right tackle the whole game. Boy, what a big moment to come in to a game for your first NFL snap and to move over and play a different position to tackle. They got it done. And then Dawkins came back for the next play. Now, on 4th and 2, a lot of fans around us and myself were debating, should we be kicking the field goal and go up by a score? You know, I mean, make it a 5-point lead. And it was a big debate. And coaches really don't have that time to debate on the field that we had down there. They have to get ready, make the decision, and call the play. And I was glad to see that after the game, Sean McDermott said they actually talked about that kind of a situation during the week and decided they were going to go for it if it came down to that. So kudos to Sean McDermott and our coaching staff for covering that type of situation among all the other types of situations that they have to try to negotiate during the game. But they were ready for it. They called a man-beater play because Kansas City beats man a lot. They called a mesh play to cross receivers and try to get someone lost in the wash so they could just pick up 2 yards. However, on this play, they came out in zone. So they beat the man-beater by playing zone. I wondered why Shakir was in the backfield as a lineup as a running back, but Johnson went out into the flat. He was covered enough. He might have made the first down if Josh had got it to him, but it was questionable. So I'd rather just keep it in Josh's hands. And then when the guys crossed, nobody got open because it was zone coverage and those guys played their zones well. So Josh took it into his own hands and had one of the most amazing runs. Well, I would say one of the most amazing runs. Josh Allen's had some amazing runs, but this was an amazing play and was called by the announcer after I watched it after I came home on the replay as the play of the year. And it might quite possibly, due to the situation, was the play of the year. On 4th and 2, to not only get the first down, but to negotiate your way around linebackers and defensive linemen and corners and safeties to get all the way into the end zone and hit their cook and go in. What a moment. What a moment. And I'm going to tell you what. Gave my wife the biggest hug when that happened. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that moment. I thought the moment from the week before when the home game before when Tyler Bass hit that 61-yard field goal to win the game against the Fish, that was going to be the moment of the year. But this was the moment. And just pure joy feeling in the stadium. Amazing. It must have been great to watch it at home, but at the stadium, just pure joy. Pure joy. On the defense, so the offense played a great game. Again, I give the props to Shakir, Dawson Knox, all the offensive linemen. Saibo needs a big shout out because he really shut down Jones, especially on that last play, on the 4th down play. As I told you in the video coming up, we have to work on Jones. That guy, in my opinion, is the best defensive player in the NFL, and he really didn't have as much of an impact. He had a little bit of an impact on some plays, but not as much as I thought he would do. And kudos to the offensive line for shutting him and Karlaftis and those guys down. No sacks given up again during this game. Moving over to the defense. The defense had a fantastic game as well. I had said in my video things to watch for, we needed our defensive tackles up the middle to get penetration and play well. They had their best game of the year. Ed Oliver It's not going to really show up on the stat sheet, but he was constantly in Mahomes' face. Daquan Jones got the pressure up the middle on the second play of the game that caused the interception. He had his arms around Mahomes' legs, so Mahomes overthrew the ball, and it went to Taylor Rapp for the interception. So, and Groot, fantastic game by Groot. I've watched some Kansas City Chiefs fans videos since then, and a lot of them are calling for a new left tackle being needed on the team. But I'm going to tell you what, it was Groot. You're not going to face Groot every week, so I don't know if it's premature to be replacing your tackle after just what happened in one game. I mean, you were 9-0 coming into the game. Now you're 9-1, by the way. But Groot had a great game in constant pressure on Mahomes as well, and Von Miller came through with that sack. So kudos to the defensive line. Linebacker play, amazing linebacker play. I mean, they were spying Mahomes a lot during the game. Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams both did a great job. Bernard did such a great job that he waited for Mahomes to leave the pocket and then went in and sacked him on one of the first series of the game. Fantastic play by Terrell Bernard. And I had said to make sure you don't leave your feet, because Mahomes likes to give that head fake or the ball fake, and it gets a lot of people to leave their feet. And when you leave their feet, he just runs around you, just like a basketball play. When you do that fake and then the player leaves his feet and he just runs past you, Mahomes loves to do that. The Bills were ready for that in this game. I remember a couple of years ago, a lot of players were leaving their feet, and it was just driving me crazy. This game, they contained, they stayed down, they put pressure on Mahomes constantly throughout the game, and just had a fantastic game. So, proud of the guys for that. DB play, Terrell Bernard, Rasul Douglas, solid. Safety play, Rapp had the interception. Rapp and Hamlin, playing much above as a duo than I thought they actually were. Big, scary thing coming into the season was, will we be able to replace Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde? I'm not saying we replace those two guys because they're legends on the team, but Rapp and Hamlin have become their own good combo as well. So on the extra point that Tyler Bass missed, moving on to special teams, I think it was a high snap from Reed Ferguson, and Martin was able to get it down, but the field goal, on the game, they thought it went through. It must have just missed, if anything. I think there's got to be some ways that we can do goalpost to see if field goals are good. First downs, an easier way to measurement. I mean, there's got to be something that the NFL can do to address this. Tennis can tell you if a ball's out of bounds, but we can't tell you if you get a first down. We can't tell you in the NFL if you get a field goal is for sure good or not. Soccer, if they score a goal, it's replay. Right, if the ball went in or not. So why can't we do something in the NFL? But I'd regress. So, yes, team victory. I know a lot of people are putting a lot of praise on Josh Allen. It's very well deserved. Josh Allen put on his Superman cape and had a fantastic game. But this was a team victory, and Josh Allen would be the very first person, I think, to tell you that. The team has really come together this year and played well. And without Keon Coleman, Dalton Cade, and Spencer Brown, especially during this game, there's a lot of pressure on our offense, and they played fantastic. Matt Milano may come back on our defense in the next few weeks, so then our defense will be solid. So as we enter into the bye week, hopefully, and Dwayne Carter as well with his wrist injury may hopefully be coming back. So, there's a lot to be done during this bye week. The trainers and the medical staff for our team really need to step up during the bye week and help these guys get back onto the field. Back to special teams real quick as I see Sam Martin up here. Sam had a very good game punting the ball. Was really proud of him. Before the game, I asked Sam, how many punts are you going to get in today, Sam? 2, 3, 1, and he turned around to me and went like that. I love that. Of course, he did punt during the game, and he punted well, as I said. But 0 punts is the goal. That's our ultimate goal, because then we're scoring on every drive. We don't want turnovers either, but we're scoring on every drive, so Sam would never punt. Just hold. But he did well, so props to Sam Martin, too. Now to the things that happened before the game. Before the game, before you even go into the stadium, the experience of watching the CBS game day show was a lot like watching the college football game day show, as those guys were jumping through tables. J.J. Watts was leading the team leading the fans in the Bills shout, hey, hey, chant before the game, and just a lot of fun to be out there. And I couldn't see where I was standing. You know, they had 2 areas they were going back and forth to, and where I was for the second area, I couldn't see them go through the tables. I have watched it on video. It's a lot of fun to see Coach Cowart in particularly go through that table, and Matty Ice out there as well. So, you know, fun experience. And then when we went back to the other stage, I had pretty much front row to watch the pregame show. And, you know, my daughter's a big Texans fan, so she wanted me to ask JJ a question. I yelled to him who was going to win the Texans game, or the battle for Texas tomorrow night. I knew the Texans were going to win, and they did, because the Cowboys are having a hard season. But that's a whole nother story. JJ just ignored me. But fun to see those guys. And after they were done with their pregame show, they actually put like 6 TVs, large TVs, in front of the stage. And the guys sat down on the stage and were watching the games. I thought that was pretty cool, because the 1 o'clock games had just started when their pregame show ended. So it was cool to see those guys actually watching the games and how intently they were watching. I don't think they went back to them for, I mean, I didn't watch the 1 o'clock games. I don't know, but I know during the 4 o'clock, the Bills game, when I watched, they were going back to New York to some other guy that, some other guy. I'm sure you guys are going to give me something for that, because he's probably well known. But he was doing the play-by-play of what was happening in other games. The Seahawks 49er game was, I think, the only other game, but didn't get to watch that. But it turned out that was a big ending. But so yeah, that pregame show was fun, and there were a lot of fans at the entrance to get into the game. More fans than I've seen at any regular season game, trying to get in early, right when the gates open, like we do every game, to go in. At this time, I want to just take a second, ask you if you're enjoying this video, or even if you're not, please give me a like and consider subscribing to these videos. It really helps me out. I'd appreciate it very much. Other things that happened before the game, I had a nice conversation with Kingsley Jonathan, the defensive lineman who's currently on our practice squad, that went to Syracuse. We usually talk about Syracuse football before the games, but this game I wanted to know who was representing him in the women's flag football game for charity that the wives were playing in. And he said it was his girlfriend that was representing him, because I didn't think he was married. So it's his girlfriend that was representing him. And we just talked about how she was so dominant in that game. I mean, this girl, she would post up, and you could tell there was no way anybody else was going to stop her from completing a pass to her. So that was fun to talk to him about someone that obviously means a lot to him in his life. So that was great to talk to him. Talk to Spencer Brown just quickly as he went by, as he was signing autographs for a lot of people, because he wasn't playing in the game. I think he had an ankle problem that he was trying to deal with. So he took the time to be able to sign a lot of autographs for fans, which was awesome. And it was always good to see Daquan Jones and Elianku, among others. The referees, when the referees came out, I made sure to tell them, After watching the broadcast on Cover One, the Air Raid Hour on Monday nights, make sure you watch that. That's a great show on YouTube. The Air Raid Hour, Cover One. Cover One's Air Raid Hour. Watch that on Monday nights at 9. Great show. One of my favorite YouTube shows. And they were talking about how number 74, the tackle for the Chiefs, false starts a lot. So I let every single referee, whether they were the back judge, the white hat, the line guys, whoever, each one of them know 74, false start. Look for 74, false start. I don't think they called it during the game, so they probably weren't really listening to me. Imagine that. But it was fun to say that to every one of them. He did get a big holding penalty after a Patrick Mahomes run late in the game. So maybe they were at least watching 74 for me. I don't know. I'll take credit. Why not? Yeah, so that was fun. And then Brittany Mahomes walked by with Jackson behind her. And when she walked by, I made sure that she knew that, their home had been recently robbed during one of the Kansas City games. Is the thieves apparently knew that they wouldn't be home. They hit Kelsey's house too. So I jokingly was telling her that Jackson, it was coming from his brother. His Jackson was stealing his stuff. He's right behind you. The thief is right behind you. I don't know. It's just fun things to be able to yell at the other team's people. They were smiling about it too, so they knew it. They took it in jest. So, yeah, that just makes it all fun. Bills fans, wow. What a great event. The Bills fans, I've complained in other videos that these fans don't know when to be quiet and when to make noise because a lot of them, it's their only game they come to and they're drunk. But this game, when Josh Allen asked them to be quiet, they were quiet. You could hear a pin drop at some points. And there were a lot of Chiefs fans there too. And then when we needed to be loud, we were loud. We were loud. I know Mahomes and the Chiefs have got to be used to loud crowds. I mean, they went through the road to the playoffs last year to get to the Super Bowl, but this was loud. I mean, very, very loud. So props to the fans. Great game. They didn't play Mr. Brightside until the 2-minute warning after Josh's run. So, that was a 2-score lead at that point. And the game was pretty much in hand, although Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. So, it's not in hand until the final gun, or the final whistle. But Mr. Brightside's always great to play. I wish they would do more karaoke type things during the game of other songs, but that's a whole nother thing. And talking about in-game entertainment. How do the Houston Texans get Beyonce at halftime and the Buffalo Bills get racing dogs, girls flag football, and 4-piece bands playing at midfield? Okay, enough of that. But other players I get to see. I got some autographs from guys before the game, starting with Travis Clayton. Travis Clayton was the 7th-round draft pick from the Bills, the surprise pick. Coming from England. He'd never played in the NFL before. This is a very large man, very tall. Played rugby very well in England. And Travis was nice enough to come over and sign that for me. And he hasn't been at all the games earlier this year, at least not down on the field, because probably because he was nursing an injury. Maybe they let him go home to nurse that, but now he has been back. He came back for the last home game versus the Fish, so that's why I wanted to bring that to get him to sign it, and he did. And then guy that was injured for this game and couldn't play, Keon Coleman. I got him to sign this for me in silver. Nice autograph. It's actually a misprint on my printer. You can see the lines going through there, but a really good autograph. So I'm going to have to decide which one of my Keon Colemans I want to hang on the wall, because this is a really good autograph. The other one's got a little bit of it's hard to see in black. And then one of the keys to the game, talking about things that happened before the game, Peerless Price brought it. This guy was jumping up and down and screaming as the legend of the game. When he led us in our pregame chant and ended with, which I always end with, where would you rather be than right here, right now? That place was rocking. Peerless even had the mascot rocking. I mean, the Chiefs got the ball on the kickoff because the Bills deferred. Good choice. Because the fans were rocking and ready to go because of Peerless Price. And Mahomes threw an interception on the second play. They weren't going to get a first down. The fans just had that place going on the first series. And that's because of this guy. And he signed this for me. Peerless Price, what a legend. Coming back and helping the team too. He wrote Go Bills on there. So this will be going on my Legends wall over there. I'm not even sure how many I have on my Legends wall. Maybe I'll do a video during the bye week to show my wall updates on where I stand. But, yeah. So appreciate him autographing that for me too. Amazing event. Amazing game, amazing event. Not because of anything that the Bills entertainment staff did, because they did have a 4-piece band at halftime. The one thing I do like that they did is they honored a Gold Star family at halftime. And for those of you that are fans of this channel because of the West Texas Pride semi-pro football team that I used to manage, you know that the Gold Star families, we honored them every year. That moment meant a lot to me. I think I did shed a tear honoring the Gold Star family and hearing about their son on the board and showing the pictures of him on the video board. It just brought back a lot of memories to the Gold Star families that, you know, these families gave the ultimate, these families gave the ultimate sacrifice, that their sons and daughters, wives and husbands were killed in action so that we can feel the freedom that we feel in the United States of America. And we should lift them up any chance that we get. And I'm so glad that the Bills did that for at least one family. I hope they can expand on that program and do even more for Gold Star families, because we can never forget the sacrifice that their relatives gave so that we can enjoy our freedom. Back to the game. Wow. That's all you can really say is wow. I love the Buffalo Bills. I didn't know this was going to be a 30-minute video, but we're almost on to 30 minutes. And if any game this year that needs that, especially going into the bye week, maybe we can do a little bit of a longer video. But we got the 49ers coming up, and they're always a good team. I don't care if they're 5-5. They got a lot of talent on that team. And a lot of it's been injured, and a lot of that injury is coming back. They're going to have a lot of their players back in 2 weeks. So, but until then, I remind you, go Bills! And the most important thing, always remember, God loves you! And so do I!